I've been living a minimalist lifestyle for the last 10 years, and I want to share 10 things that I've learned in that process. Before we jump in though, this is the first video on this channel that is explicitly about minimalism, and I realized I just wanted to start sharing about it because I've noticed it leaks into almost every single one of my videos, some of the philosophy from minimalism. So I just want to share first a little bit of groundwork about what minimalism means to me. Minimalism is just a tool for me. It is something that helps take the focus off of getting the next thing, consumerism, and turns it and puts it onto the things in my life that are really important. When I sit down at my desk every day and open up my web browser to start working, I have a Google document with my goals for the year that pops up in front of me. At the top of that list is this statement: less things to maintain, put away, keep clean. Less obligations on my time, my wallet, my mental health. Simple, not easy. To me, that's kind of what minimalism is. And I see that statement every day. And so it's kind of just ingrained in my brain as something that's really important to me and valuable to me. So let's dive in. Minimalism isn't actually about the stuff. When you start minimalism, minimalism is about the stuff. It's about getting rid of, going through, prioritizing, and organizing the things that you deem are important to you at the time versus the things that aren't. It's kind of getting rid of like 80% to leave the remaining most valuable 20%. Once you get past that initial process of decluttering and getting rid of, minimalism becomes much less about those things and much more about what you choose to have in your life. That doesn't just mean the physical things you have in your home or that you own, but it's much more about what do you actually want to include in your life that aligns with who you are as a person. Minimalism will change with you. When I discovered minimalism, I was a senior in high school living at home with my parents. But minimalism has changed and grown with me as I moved out, as I've gotten married, and as I've moved through different phases of my life. Each different stage of my life has brought different requirements for the things I need in my life. And so I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to actually watch that change and grow with time. You won't remember what you've gotten rid of. Over the last 10 years, I have regretted getting rid of less than 5 items that I decided to downsize, get rid of. And I don't remember the other things I've gotten rid of. It's been dozens, probably even hundreds of things, and I don't remember a single one of them. When in doubt, digitize it. This especially goes for sentimental items. If there's some way to digitize that, be it a piece of paper or even a photo of an object that is a sentimental item, not a functional item, that has been enough for me to be able to move through and go, I still have the representation of that thing so I can remember that thing, but I don't need to actually keep the physical object. I don't think about minimalism itself every day anymore, but my thought patterns are always affected by minimalism, if that makes any sense. So I'm not explicitly thinking because I'm a minimalist, I must do X, Y, or Z, but my thought process when it comes to purchasing, to possessions, to the things I include in my life are ideas that are from minimalism. And so that is just kind of my default I land on. It has truly changed every aspect of my mental life. Minimalism is a tool. It is not a religion. We do not need to convert other people to minimalism. This sounds kind of ridiculous, but I've seen many people take minimalism far too seriously and treat it religiously, as if there are rules and obligations around minimalism. It's just a tool that you can implement into your life to improve your life, to take away clutter and distraction, and be able to shrink down to the things that are actually important to you. Another thing, I believe everyone can get value out of minimalism, but not everyone's ready for minimalism, and so it might not make sense for someone's life. You don't need to marry a minimalist. I am not married to a minimalist, and that's okay. Abby has been around me since I was in the early stages of minimalism and figuring that out. And for her, stuff doesn't bother her. It doesn't add extra stress and chaos to her life. And so we have built a life together in a way that's a compromise between her preferences and mine. She is by no means a hoarder or someone who has a ton of things, but she definitely prefers more things than I prefer. Memories live in the mind, not on the shelf. After my grandpa passed away, he'd taught me how to play guitar, and so I was given his guitar. And at first that was really exciting to me because it felt like a piece of grandpa. But after some time, I realized that wasn't the important thing. It was the memories that we had of actually playing guitar together. And the thing didn't really spark those memories. It was just anytime I saw a guitar, I thought about my grandpa. Didn't have to even be his guitar. There is such a thing as too few possessions, but that is not a number, and that is not the same for every person. For example, when I first moved out, I had 2 forks, 2 knives, 2 spoons. And I realized pretty quickly that that was too few. I had to do dishes every single time I ate, and if I wanted to have someone over to eat, well, I couldn't have more than one person over without asking them to bring their own silverware, and that was just weird. So having a full set of silverware was actually beneficial to me. Finally, minimalism isn't easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. Whenever you do something that's completely against the grain of culture, there is naturally going to be some friction, and it will be challenging. People won't understand, and it will be difficult in some ways. And so minimalism is just a way to simplify your life and prioritize the things that are actually important to you and not to anyone else. I know I'm a savage, okay? This is fine. I didn't need to use a glass for it.